What's up, guys? It's your boy Connor. Dude, it's almost time for the new year. 2019 is right upon us. It's right here. Only a couple hours to go. So I want to go ahead and raise a toast to everyone who has shown support, who has watched the videos, who just overall just has a good time. Message me, who I talk to, who I consider a close friend, whether we've met or not. I raise this to you, and hopefully in 2019 we share many more miles together, share many more laughs, continue to send me all those funny videos and stuff that y'all send me. Cheers, and here's 2019. Now, to jump right into it, we're going to go ahead and do a recap, touch base, and kind of talk about a couple of things of the main things that stand out, as well as just look at a couple of footage from those times, as well as just kind of do a general recap of funny things that stick out. Now, first and foremost, right out the gate, we're going to go ahead and talk about the Dyna Lowrider swap. The Dyna to the Softail Lowrider. Dyna. Oh man, a lot of people were kind of curious about that one. They were just kind of like, even after posting a couple things about the Softail, a lot of people didn't know I got rid of the Dyna. Yes, the FXDB is no longer in Connor.
No, God, please, no, no!
Well, it is, but in actuality, it's not, because now we're rocking the FXLR. Now, there was a couple things that kind of led me to the change, but it was, for the most part, a whim. I went to kick tires, and I had previously ridden one earlier in the year, and it stuck with me, but then mostly like around September, October, I started really noticing a lot of lowriders, the Softails being posted on Instagram, a lot of club style builds, the different colors being marketed and kind of shown through people who had purchased them. They had done the FXRT fairing, they had done the road warrior, they paint matched it, etc. And it looked damn good, and I really liked it. And then, so I went to go kick tires, see what the kind of deals could be made. And thanks to the team over at Green Harley Davidson, Adrian, that we ended up rolling out with one. It's official, guys. I now join the Green HT family. It made sense, also financially. Like once I started looking at numbers, like, dude, I pretty much have to go through with this. Like it just makes, everything was pointing towards, Connor, get your ass out that Dyna and get that Softail. Now, I wish we could have kept both. Sure, that'd be dope. But with the Sporty, the Softail, and the Dyna, it's like, dude, I've been way too many bikes. Is that the thing? Connor, just give us your main card. No, but then with the payment from the Dyna and the Lowrider, I wouldn't have been able to afford both. With everything that came with it, tire and wheel, etc., what we were able to work out, I was paying $20 more than what I was paying for the Dyna. I was like, dude, it has full coverage, gap, etc., whatever, all the bells and whistles, we're good to go. $20 more, sign my life away, boom, done. So it was sad to see the Dyna go. I went back there to kind of collect a couple things as part of the deal, things that were coming off the Dyna. And it was just kind of like the last day of like, you know, much love. It's been real. It's been fun. We've been through a lot together. There's lots of memories and lots of sunrises and sunsets that we've seen.
Love's got an enemy. It's bleeding inside of me. Can't get enough of it. Raging and people all, I got you inside my home. And when I feel
this kind of took, I liked it to begin with. I love the color. We switched from black to the Ron Burgundy. It's actually Twisted Cherry, but Ron Burgundy is the name of what I've dubbed the bike as well as the paint job. Stay classy, San Diego, San Antonio, New Braunfels, Austin area, etc. But it took a little bit for the bike to kind of get it to its own, build its own personality, and for me to really, truly enjoy it. Now, the ride was great. I loved it. Compared to the Dyna, it's super smooth. I love the way it handles. But with the stock beach bars, it was just terrible, miserable. I hated it. It was like, oh, bro, my back was hurt. It was kind of like a weird riding position. I was like, no, dude. I rode it. I still crushed miles with it. 200, 300 mile days. But I was just like, oh, my back at the end of that. It was just like, no, dude, I'm not gonna ride the next day. Or I would ride to work and that's it. Nowhere else after. And we finally got the T-bars on, and it's just like, dog, game changer, bro. I'm loving it. And the seat's comfortable. At first, it was completely uncomfortable. I was Lucky Dave's through and through. And it came with the bike. I was like, dope. After a couple hundred miles, I'd probably say a fair amount, like 600 to 700. It's comfortable now. I don't know if it was just the bar positioning combo with the seat, but I love it. I dig it, and plus the line, I think it looks great. It's a deep little saddle position. It kind of keeps an aggressive look to the bike. I dig it. I love it. Now, we're also getting the fairing paint match by Deuce Wild Custom Fabrications as well as the battery covers. And we're also having Jacob Kennard fab the bag, frame, mount, hardware, etc. And we're picking that up later on in the new year, pretty much like the first week or two. And so that's going to be cool. Now, we're going to be paint matching it possibly, or maybe just do a chrome. I'm kind of leaning towards chrome, while initially we had said we were going to paint match it. Just that way it kind of keeps with this chrome lining going on. And it's, hey, whatever, YOLO. If anything, if we don't like it, we'll just sandblast and go with paint match. There's lots to talk about with the Dyna. It's the main part of most of my moto vlog journey, just overall as a motorcycle rider, enthusiast, whatever you want to call it. I don't really consider myself a biker. I kind of just consider myself a motorcycle rider. Just because it encompasses more, I feel like. I'm a big coffee drinker. A lot of y'all know that. And I go to my local coffee shop, whether it be Starbucks, you got Summer Moon. At San Antonio's local coffee, that's one of the good ones. Local at the Pearl, etc. And it's just, maybe go to art events and music shows to where you're using your motorcycle like you do a car. It's just kind of riding, charity rides. And it's just trying to broaden the horizon of what you can be doing on a motorcycle. Just because a lot of people think it's like, you have to do so much. I like to do mural runs personally and go out into the country and just take photos of my motorcycle, in a cool field. That's what I truly enjoy doing. That's what I love about this, is that it takes you, it's fun to go waste gas. A lot of people don't really say, hey, let's get in my car and drive randomly out there and take photos of my car in this field. It's not really a popular idea. Like, why would I do that when I can just go somewhere like to the mall, driving range, shooting range, or whatever? But with the motorcycle, it's different. That's what I truly enjoy about it. As well as all these videos to where, the Iron Butt Challenge really sticks out in my head just because that was one of the coolest things. And then as well as the trip to Las Vegas, because that was the first thing that happened that really was just like, whoa, this is awesome. This is truly a blessing. And it was when I met Aaron Finch. Damn, that's fucking crazy.
Bro, dude, I've been watching your videos for fucking the start, man.
Yeah, dude, that's dope.
That's why I fucking bought this bike.
No shit?
Yeah, bro.
He's been a long-time follower of the channel, and it was just like, dog, that was the moment. That's probably the number one moment that I've been so thankful for, was James and I were going out to Las Vegas for the Drag Specialties dealer ride. And along the way, I'm going live in the dealership. You all heard the story several times, and he recognized it. He goes, that's my dealership. And I go, what? Okay, let me do another pan. He goes, dude, I'll be there in a couple minutes. Don't leave. And I was like, James, we can't leave. Homeboy's coming through. He's been, a follower, a supporter of the channel. I have to meet this dude. It's like, what? And just the fact that from where we first started was just us, that first video. If y'all haven't seen it right here, it's just so cringeworthy. Like, no. I hate it, but I leave it up just because it's like where I started. I was trying to emulate some of the other moto vloggers that I had seen and just trying to find my style. And it was a lot of just random stuff. Like the first couple of videos, I hate. But they're there to remind me where I've come from, and just the fact that people have continued to watch some of the videos, like, well, we still have a long way to go, to where some people be like, dude, you only got like 4K subscribers. Why do you even do this? And there's no point. I enjoy doing it. That's why we first started doing it. Initially, we started off with Instagram videos when they were 15 to 25 seconds long. was just riding all day just to get a 25-second clip. I loved it. You know, it just kind of helps me reflect on the rides that I've done when I want to look back down the line. And the fact that people have come along the journey, and I love just the interaction I've had to where, you know, I reply to as many comments as I can. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't tell me when there's a comment, and I'll go randomly through a video, and I'll scroll all the way to make sure I've replied to all the comments. And some of them I'm 6 months late, but I make it a point to reply to everyone, as well as on Instagram. If you ever need to get a hold of me, the best place to do it is on Instagram. I reply every message, you know, whether it just be a quick question. If there's something I don't know, I can direct you to someone or a company who can answer whatever question you may have. Just because that was in essence what started me as a motovlogger, was a lot of questions I would ask on YouTube would never get answered. People would just start getting more subscribers and just be like, oh, whatever, people will answer themselves. Nah, dog, they're coming to you for answers. Try to do it to your best. And so I'll reply to everyone, even if it's like, if you have a comment somewhere, I apologize if I have not commented and we're already 8 months down the line. I will eventually get to it, I promise. We're going to start looking at some more videos. So this time last year, well, after New Year's, whatever, 2018, we did a ride, a very brisk ride, up to the DFW area, where there was the DFW Dynamic, or there was the FXR Dyna Mixer held by the Fast Life Garage and Tex Performance, to where initially for the first, it was way too cold and super crappy weather that they decided to postpone it. And so a week later, we ripped on up, and it was still cold. It was still just as miserable. But a group of us got together. We met up in a couple of us met up in San Antonio, and then we met up with another group in the Austin area. We blasted up, and I mean, we must have been crushing like triple digits for the most part, just trying to end that ride. It was 2.5 hours of just cold. It must have been like 35 degrees. No hand guards. It was just cold. It was just like bundled up, like oh. But it was worth it. We met up with a lot of people. Met up with Kyle again from up there. He's now part of the DFW Dyna crew, and then Paul and everyone else up there. To where it was super cool, you know, just getting to see everybody hang out. And I ended up seeing old James Campbell. Ended up going to the Fast Life Garage. I was there waiting, just kind of, you know, hanging out, and it was good to see him. I don't get to see him as often. Super solid dude. And so if you happen to see a Trask Performance van in your local city or at your dealership, say what's up. Peek your head in, see if James is there. Super solid dude, lots of information, good dude to talk to, good dude to know. He has great stories, and he's got a fair amount of jokes. Just overall solid dude. So if you do see the Trask van, or if you get a chance to meet James, tell him Connor, say what's up. So now, the Iron Butt Challenge. This was the first one I've done. I mean, I've crushed a fair amount of miles in a day, towards a 400, 600, but I believe that the 1,000 in one single sitting in a day was going to be pretty rough is what I expected. Now, that's not to say it didn't have its downs. There was a couple moments of discomfort where it's just like, oh, this is going to take a long time. But we tracked it in 17 hours. 1 hour of that was my fault, just because I forgot to message Wes when we were in Snyder at the Loves that we were going to be on our route to Lubbock, to where that's where we were supposed to meet up with us. Once we were in Lubbock, he's like, hey bro, what's up? Are you headed to Lubbock yet? And I was like, oh, my bad. We're in Lubbock. And he goes, oh, dude, you know, real quick. He's about an hour out anyway, like 40 minutes, and so he goes, dude, I'll be there as quick as I can. You know, wait for me if you can. I understand if you don't. I was like, nah, dude, that was on me. I totally spaced and I forgot to message you. We'll wait. And we'll touch base on why this was one of the cooler rides I've done and one of the cooler moments. He got there pretty quick. He must have been crushing some speed. He had said that he was hoping he wasn't going to get pulled over because there was a couple sections where he was just kind of cruising, trying to make it without having us to wait. which was super nice of him, but we would have waited regardless. It was just so cool, like to kind of touch base is that this was one of the cooler things I would say that it was the coolest thing to happen in 2018, but it falls second overall just because that meeting Aaron was probably the coolest thing just because it was like, dude, motovlogger, you know, the first person I met out of Texas that followed the channel was just like, what? And one of the OGs from the get-go. So one of the coolest things because we started early. You know, coming from Texas, if you're leaving from the central Texas area, you cover a lot of, I would say, rural roads to where there's a lot of thicket on a lot of the side of the road. Just a fair amount of game that crosses it during the nighttime, early morning, and there's a lot of dead animals all over the road. So we're ripping up, going through, I think it's Junction and all that stuff, going like northwest Texas. And as we're going, there's like a lot of hog, a lot of deer, and a lot of dead birds on the side of the road. And it's just like, oh, dog, okay, this is what we're gonna expect on the way back. So it's like, you know, we left early. I left at 4, met up with J Mart at 5. And so that way it's like we were on the road pretty early, and it was cool because we saw the sunrise. We were tired, but that was just so cool. And one of the cooler parts of the Texas ride was when we went through the windmills. Just, I mean, these gargantuan windmills. They're just kind of like, dog, you're not as big as you think you are. You know, there's other things in this. While it's still man-made, it's still something that's just humbling. It's just kind of like, dude, this is mesmerizing. This is so awesome. And so we're going through there, and then we meet up with everyone, and Aaron decides to come over from Clovis up onto the Texas side, and over, I think it's not Marion, something with an M, and that Muleshoe. He crossed over to Muleshoe, and he's like, hey, I'm by the McDonald's, the gas station, whatever. So I'm looking over, and I'm like, okay, where's he at? Where's he at? And then also the McDonald's gas station, and it's like, okay, I'm looking, and I don't see him. Like, okay, where's he at? You know, cool, he's probably somewhere around here. Maybe it's a different McDonald's gas station. And I look down, and on the horizon, okay, maybe not the horizon, but like maybe a couple hundred feet, and off to the right, I see a dude on a motorcycle. And his bike's already on, he's just waiting. It's just like, dog, we come to town. It's like, they're so dope. And it's 4 of us now, just riding. And then all of a sudden I see my rearview mirror, and Aaron just gets into the pack. And here we are, just crossing the New Mexico border, just like, da-da. It's just something old, out of the old West where it felt like me. It was just so awesome. And we ride. Just, I feel like we should be on horseback, dude. And it was just awesome. So we get there, you know, have lunch, and then we all split. We end up coming back. Aaron stays in New Mexico, and then we kind of slowly start to split off. And it's kind of like much love, dog. Just the fact that people were kind of like, you know, I posted, hey, I'm going to go to this Iron Butt Challenge. Let me know if you're down to ride. And it was just riding. You know, that's what I think is super cool about the motorcycle is, you know, you're just having a day wasting gas.
Baby, back and forth, God above and the devil below you.
It's giving so much in return, and I guess it also depends on what you put into it, what you get out of it. Because me personally, as a rider, I truly enjoy sunrises and sunsets, but sunsets are my go-to. Just, you know, riding or like late afternoon, and when you're coming back, it's just the sunrise. And you know, you stop off, take a cool photo, just because the sun's fleeting, it's going. And it's kind of like, they say that, you know, that there's a delicate dance, I forgot what the quote is, but pretty much it says there's a delicate dance between night and day to where they need each other. As one dies, the other one comes, but without the other one fleeing or leaving, that the other one cannot exist. And so they're coexisting, but in a complete harmony. And so it's just kind of like, dude, what? And it's just stuff like that I really enjoy. It's kind of like the existential, ethereal stuff that is just super cool. Next is Born Free. We've been looking forward to this for several years, for pretty much the first 2 years when we first started riding. I mean, granted, we're at the end of our third. Connor, calm down. You ain't no veteran yet, boy. But it was super neat just because we finally got a chance to go. And it was a bit of a whim, in essence, to where we got a van. We'll get back to that here shortly. Cody and I were gonna go, and it's like, okay, dope. We got Airbnb, and then like the last week, Jacob was like, hey, would you be willing to take my bike out to California, and I fly out there because work didn't allow him so many days off. And I was just like, dude, that'd be dope. If we can all ride together, done. That'd be, count me in. I'm for it. I'll help you out. And so we're out there, and that's when like everything started, really getting into gear. And Jacob was like, hey, take my bike. Cool, done. So we go out there. We end up picking Jacob up, and it was just so dope. And then we're riding, dude, and I met old Justin, my boy, JK, dude. He's one of the OGs, if not the OG of the YouTube channel. And we'd always we talked about, going to Last Born Free, meeting up, etc. Super solid dude. And it was so awesome finally meeting that. We met up the night before, and it was funny because he got lost in the neighborhood where we were staying. We were over in Harupa Valley. And he called me, he goes, bro, where you at? I can't seem to find it. And so I'm on the phone kind of like GPSing and be like, he's calling out street names. I'm like, dude, I know where you're at. You got to come this way. And then, he kind of take a wrong turn here and there. I'm like, no, okay, correct, this way, come this way. And then down the way, I can hear his bike. Brah, brah. I'm like, dude, I hear you, bro, I hear you. And so he rolls up and it's just like, dog. It finally happened. We finally met up, and we chit-chatted for a hot minute, and it was just so cool finally meeting him. And so the next day, we're all meeting up with like Heather and Dwayne. We're doing a meetup in Lake Elsinore, and we took Ortega Highway, and it was just cool seeing everyone that you talk to. I met Chase. He was the first time I met Chase over there, and the first thing he said to me was, he goes, oh, what's up, Connor? He goes, damn, your tattoos look hella old. Like, bro, leave me alone. They've been sun-kissed forever. Especially, I got them right before right when I was surfing, so I was living in the sun. And it's like, we need to cover them up or get them retouched. And that was just so funny, because then Cody was just like, he was laughing because he goes, I get back to the bike, he goes, yeah, Connor, your tattoos are hella old. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. But overall, solid time. It was super awesome. It was super nice to finally meet Heather and Dwayne Downing. The power couple, if there's ever been a power couple. They both ride Harleys. She does wicked burnout. She does wheelies. She's been focusing on the Grom. And then Dwayne's just killing it, bro. And then there was Brent and all these other people. Dude, so many people. Eric Ariano with a sick-ass FXR. And then just everyone. Brent. It was so wicked to finally meet everyone and ride with everyone. We rode and it's throwing wheelies so effortlessly. Just like, so we go from there, we go to the show, and we park. We had the grass pass, but it was right under the banner. It was so amazing. And then Johnny Demmel, there was no service out there. So I was trying to message people like, hey, I'm here. We're going to meet up. Nope. Pretty much until I ran into him. And I was trying to find Server for the longest time. I kept on running into people like, hey, you seen Server? Oh, you just missed him. He's on the other side. So I'd walk to the other side of the showgrounds. Like, oh, he's on the other side. I was like, oh, God. So I eventually kind of said, all right, if I run into him, I run into him. Ran into Matt York out while we were out there. Always a solid dude. Recently got a road glide, said bye to Grandma Dinah. Say that because he had a picture of a grandma on his Dinah fender, and that was kind of funny. So it was just Grandma, that was the Dinah. It was just so awesome. But so I'm looking later on, I was like, and so I'm looking over photos, and I see him in the background, and he's like, so there's a photo of me just kind of hanging out doing something, and he's like right there, like 5 feet away. And that was for like a good 20, 30 minutes that we just didn't even see each other. And I'm in his photos, it's like, oh, bro. So it was pretty funny, and then so we'll be doing a meetup for sure, I guess, for this coming year. We'll also be doing Born Free 2019, and we have a hell of a trip planned. We're doing a lot of moto camping for the 3 days it's going to take us to go out there, because instead of shooting I-10 for the 1,400 miles, we're adding about 800 to 900 miles and going up northwest-ish to Great Sand Dunes National Park for the first night, Moab, Utah for the second night, and then Bonneville Salt Flats on our way to the Sacramento area to stay for the third night, maybe a day up there, and then shoot down to Born Free the Friday before. And so it's going to be cool. We have a big group at the Airbnb that we're looking to get, and it's just going to be a solid time. So if you're down to do a group ride into Born Free, holla at your boy, hit me up on Instagram. We'll see what we can get together. Maybe we can have Dwayne and Heather set up another group ride, and then we'll kind of bring together our group and just have one giant group just rolling into Born Free. So I'm excited, dude. Another Born Free coming up. But yeah, and then Server, Mason, Burns, super cool, dude. So the second day we didn't go to Born Free on Sunday. We ended up riding out to Neptunes in Malibu, that was, I mean, you had to be a dyno bro, you had to hit that spot. That's the ultimate. And so we're riding, lane splitting, the first time lane splitting legally for that long of a distance. It was just like, bro, this is, and people get out of the way. It's like, what? There's an occasional person that was just like, whatever, dude, I'm gonna stay right here. But for the most part, people just like, you know, kind of, you're coming through and they'd be like, oh, let me move over. Because you have the hub lanes, the middle lane ideally was the best one just because it's a little wider. But then, you know, people kind of bump out of the way. It's like, you know, much love, peace. It was so dope. Chris Matlock.
We got Matlock out here rocking his new Plex. Custom AF, dude. Plex Edition 1.0.
We ran into Chris Matlock. That was cool. He rode out with us to Neptunes, and we had Will and Katie leading the pack, and so that was just so dope. I'm hyped for what we're going to be doing in 2019 and kind of working with each other and continue to challenge each other, and as well as meet up. We're going to be hanging out at the Airbnb. Will, don't get that hotel. We're going to be BFFs forever. And so to quickly touch base before kind of calling this video to its end is we have a van. Yes, we got a Transit 250. There's not much video of it other than just kind of riding to California. We have the medium roof, long wheelbase. It's not the short, it's not the longest, it's the medium. Why did I choose that? It is my main means of transportation other than the motorcycle, but it is my only car. We had a smaller truck, a little Nissan Frontier, super dope truck, but it didn't let me to just kind of throw the bikes in the back because I had to get a trailer. I had a trailer, but then I took it back to the valley. I would rent them, etc., and I'd borrow them, but it was just kind of like, oh, I got to get that out of the way, then I got to go park, find a place to do it, blah, blah. So we're like, the van, boom, done. And a couple dealerships in the local San Antonio area, I mean, with those things here in Central Texas, they're pretty much selling new, up even to 30, 40,000 miles, I do know. So I found one in the valley. Initially, the first one I found went to auction as soon as I called about it. Like, no, dude, that was a steal. So this one, we ended up finding it again in the valley over at Cardenas, and I was like, dude, you know, let me check it out. I called my brother, like, hey, would you be willing to check this out when you have time? He said, sure. Went again and kind of worked the deal for me. So when I went down to the valley, I pretty much just walked in, signed all the paperwork, done and done. Reviewed I looked over the van real quick, then signed the papers, and then I was in and out in an hour. It was headache, the least time I ever spent in a dealership. Just quick, in and out, done. We're good. And so it allowed us the opportunity to go to California, where, I mean, it was so awesome because it would have worked to fly out, sure, but it wouldn't have been as much fun or as much memories going out there. Hanging out with Cody in the van for like the 16 hours it took us to get out there. There were some stupid conversations that we had, and then with Jacob as well once we picked him up. It was just, when you're spending that much time in such a close area, the conversations that go, you only have so much you can talk about before it starts getting weird. I remember when James and I were going to Las Vegas, we started talking about like if we would live above ground or below ground in the desert, or what part of the desert we would want as our home, like if you want to live in a cliff face or underground, etc. It was kind of like, what? And so it's just little things like that that make it more worthwhile. And then we also met up with Matt, Roddy, and the team over at Noble Reaper. Thank you again to Matt for extending your home for us to crash out. That was super nice of you. It was super fun. So awesome meeting so many people on the way out there. We also swung by Trask with Nick, Jeff, and Megan, and they showed us around the shop. It was super nice. So thank you to everyone who has supported the channel, old and new, as well as to the future of 2019. We've touched base on what's to come with the channel. Happy New Year, many blessings. Hope 2019 has lots of positivity stored for you, lots of success.